Do you ever feel overwhelmed by the ever-changing world of technology? Tech It Out can help make some sense of it all. Breaking down geek speak into street speak, technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman covers consumer technology each week for every listener. Mark tackles the latest news, reviews, and how-tos to help you understand what's hot, what's not, and why.
Hey everyone, happy Thanksgiving and a happy long weekend to you as well. Thank you for tuning into Tech It Out. Perhaps you're on a road trip listening to this, or maybe you're off to a relative's place for a good meal, or you're off to watch a football game with your buddies, or maybe out shopping for the holidays. Regardless, welcome to Tech It Out episode 124. We have a great show planned for you this hour. We'll talk with OnePlus in a moment about its new smartphone. We'll learn about the 2021 Marai hydrogen fuel cell vehicle from Toyota. Flipp will stop by to chat about its app that saves you money. We'll talk with Konnected about an alternative home alarm solution. And GoDaddy will stop by to talk about creating a website for your small business or side hustle. All right, let's kick things off. Not all smartphones or smartphone companies are the same. Despite what you see on the surface, doing something different in this space and something that's working for them is OnePlus. Joining us to chat about the company and their new device, the OnePlus 7T, we've got Kyle Jung on the line. He's the CMO for OnePlus. Welcome to the show, Kyle.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for having me on.
Before we talk about the OnePlus 7T, please tell us a bit about OnePlus. What makes this smartphone maker tick?
Sure. And we're probably a little bit different, and we realize, we're not necessarily a household name yet. What makes us a bit different is we're a 5-year-old company, and we started with a bit of a different approach. Our original consumers were, let's call them tech aficionados, tech nerds maybe, who really were knowledgeable about technology. And at the time when we started in 2013, there was probably we perceived a little bit of a pain point in the market in the sense that we didn't think there were any Android phones out there that really provided a premium, great user experience. And that was really important to us. So when we started, our first devices were made for really the people that were the toughest, most demanding users. And our approach was a bit different, where we only made one phone at a time. We were very focused on just that singular product. And by making products that were basically blessed and preferred by the toughest users, and keeping to that approach, we continue to grow based on kind of maybe a user-focused different approach to smartphones.
When you say the toughest users, Kyle, do you mean that they're hard on the phones, like environmentally, like they're in harsh environments, or tough meaning they're super techy and they want to get in and customize everything and they want the latest and fastest processing power?
Yeah, great. And I think the latter one that you just articulated is right, okay. Where techies, software engineers who really are knowledgeable, really want certain things, want high performance, want a really good user experience for top hardware, clean software, really user designed features, nothing that kind of is interruptive in your experience. Everything happened kind of seamlessly in that sense. And so by making products that match those people's expectations, we knew we were kind of on the right track to making the best products.
Okay, so it's this unique approach to your craft and to hit a certain target, a certain demographic is what you attribute your success to.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
And research shows that globally, smartphone adoption is slowing, but OnePlus is defying the trend. Can you quantify that? And is it that sort of secret sauce that you've got is what separates you from the pack?
Yeah, we think so. I mean, I think by not changing that approach and staying focused on product has allowed us to grow. You mentioned a couple of proof points. First quarter this year, we were a top 4 smartphone brand in the U.S. in kind of the premium segment. So think flagships, $500 and above. We are the fastest growing brand in the U.S., growing about 150% year over year in a category that's not, that's, as you mentioned, flat or declining. And then globally, we've kind of taken a unified approach of matching the expectations of this type of consumer around the world. And actually in India, which is one of the fastest growing markets, a very tech forward in some ways country, we're actually the number one premium brand in India. And so seen as kind of the leader in smartphones there.
So I'm an Android user. I, as a geek, I like getting in there and customizing everything. I don't like to be told, oh, here's your mail program and here's your calendar. I like the everything that Android brings to the table, among other features. But it's really hard to knock off like iPhone from its perch. I mean, in North America specifically, it seems like everyone's on iPhone. How do you possibly convert that? Or is it like not even something you would try to get those customers to change over?
Sure. And I mean, I don't think we necessarily think about one particular, other, competitor in general. But for us, probably we've been held up as doing and some people say we are doing the best job on mobile platforms overall. We've seen over the last year, PC Mag takes like a user preference survey in terms of what's the best mobile platform. And actually for the last 2 years, we've been the overall best platform. And that includes Google, that includes iOS, that includes Samsung in terms of the best platform. And I think, we've taken an approach where we want the best hardware. We want the cleanest software. People refer to it as kind of, stock Android, and we only add features to our software if it adds a real user benefit. So we don't want to put anything unnecessary in between you and your user experience. And one piece of feedback we've gotten is last year we launched in T-Mobile. And one piece of feedback we've gotten is if, a lot of times I'll be in a T-Mobile store and I'll be chatting with a sales individual, and he'll tell me, listen, if somebody's interested in, maybe changing on iOS, you hear that a lot today, that people are kind of curious what's out there. A lot of them tell us that if somebody's interested in making a change from iOS, they actually recommend OnePlus because it provides kind of the best, kind of cleanest user experience.
I understand OnePlus is going open source and promoting user-generated smartphones. Can you explain?
Yeah, and it's not maybe totally open source, but for us, we started before we even launched the product 5 years ago. We basically had we developed kind of a community consumer forums where people were giving us feedback on what they wanted in a product, and so that kind of DNA started with us from the start. So we get probably, I think, more than anybody else, very direct user feedback in terms of what we're doing. We have a very large beta program where we have a closed beta program with a lot of demanding users that test our products before they go into the market, and we also have an open software beta where about 200,000 users are testing the software before we push it kind of live to a large audience. At the same time, we have, in addition to kind of digital areas of feedback, we often host what we call open ears forums where our users kind of meet with us directly, give feedback on products, and several product developments and features run through this kind of feedback testing to come about. And on our most recently, we actually ended up launching a feature that we didn't necessarily anticipate being that significant, but has ended up getting a lot of consumer traction called Zen Mode, where right now I think there's a lot of interest in digital wellness. And this was a feature that basically was a little bit tough love, but would basically, you'd click on our Zen Mode and you could not use the smartphone features on your device for 20 minutes. So basically kind of forcing you to kind of, be present with the people you're in, or as some people have called it, date mode is kind of a joke. But it's something that came out of a user feedback session. So it kind of back to our original point. We've kind of kept this approach because we it's natural to us, but it gets us to the best outcomes for products.
We're chatting with Kyle Jung. He is the Chief Marketing Officer at OnePlus. Now let's talk about the OnePlus 7T. Congrats, by the way, on all the positive reviews. What makes this smartphone stand out?
Yeah, and the response to the 7T has been great. I think more than anything, we're not a company that's necessarily about a single feature, but on the overall user experience in terms of, the best, newest hardware and kind of our software approach. But a couple things that have been called out is, one, we were the first company in the U.S. to introduce a 90 hertz refresh rate screen. And so this year, people point to us as having the best kind of display experience in smartphones. And it's kind of one of those things that you have to kind of experience, where basically with a 90 hertz refresh rate, your screen's going to be very responsive. Everything you can do is very snappy. And it's kind of one of those things that people have told us once you've had this experience, you kind of can't go back. In that sense. Do
you mean when you touch an app or something on the screen, it's just that much more responsive, or are you referring to video playback being smoother?
Most importantly, the first that you kind of mentioned. So, it's one of those things where just imagine how much time you spend a day, maybe kind of engaging with your smartphone, scrolling through social media. It's one of these things that if you put a phone side by side and you're scrolling, you'll see the responsiveness, you'll see the fluidity kind of in a different way. And a lot of features that I think have been really well received. Our charging technology is actually a bit different than the rest of the industry, where basically, to summarize it, our charging technology is not only quicker, but also the power management is in the basically the adapter, not the phone. So the heat management process takes place in the adapter. And why that matters is, in addition to being one of the fastest charging technologies, it doesn't slow down if you're using your phone. So if you're driving and you're using navigation, if you're video gaming or watching something and the phone's charging, it continues to charge at the same rate. And it's when a lot of people have told us that our technologies change their behavior to where they don't actually charge their phone overnight anymore. So they'll maybe top up in the morning, and it's kind of changed charging behavior. So features like that I think some people that maybe are not as familiar with us are surprised and pleased by.
The OnePlus 7T screen size, what would it be?
Totally. So the screen size is 6.55 inches. And the feedback we get in terms of, in addition to 90 hertz refresh rate, our display approach has been really well received in terms of being immersive.
Okay, cool. All right, Kyle, last question. What are your plans for next year for North America specifically?
Yeah, I mean, so we're excited about 2020. And in North America, in a lot of ways, it's the most important in our first market. When we started, a lot of our devices 5 years ago were sold to technology and software engineers in the Bay Area. And so we've always kind of this has been the most important market to it, and it's the market where we get most of our feedback from. But we're excited about 2020. But even before 2020, it was actually recently announced that soon we'll be actually launching a 5G device with T-Mobile. And so they've announced it on 12/6. They'll be launching their nationwide network, and OnePlus will be one of the first devices to launch with them.
Oh, great. Okay, very cool. And where can we learn more about OnePlus and also the price for the 7T?
Sure. So the OnePlus 7T retails for $599.
Yeah, that's like half the cost of some of these other premium phones, or even a third of the cost.
Yeah, and one thing we noticed is I think maybe about 2.5 years ago when, other competitors started to hit kind of the $1,000 price point, we started, I think, see price sensitivity in our market. And I think our approach in terms of, being a smaller company, focusing, all our resources on product, having a different business model, the response to our approach has been well received.
Kyle Jung, CMO at OnePlus, thank you so much for your time, and wishing you a happy and successful holiday season. Good luck with this 5G launch as well.
Thanks, good.
Tech It Out is powered by Asus for those in search of incredible. I'll tell you more about this awesome computer and accessory company when we return. We're also going to catch up with GoDaddy after this short break to talk about creating a killer website for your small business.
Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want. Find the Tech It Out podcast at iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to the show. It's never been easier to create a compelling website and promote it, thanks in part to GoDaddy. And here you only thought that was the place to go to for registering a domain name, right? Like marksaltzman.com. Well, they go above and beyond that. Joining us on the line to talk about a collection of tools called Websites Plus Marketing, we're joined on the line by Lauren Antonoff. She's the Senior Vice President and General Manager of the Presence and Commerce Group at GoDaddy. Welcome to the show, Lauren.
Thanks. It's great to be here.
Before we talk about Websites Plus Marketing, which is a suite of tools, as I said, to help you get up and running, I mean, you don't have to have any coding knowledge or anything. Tell us a bit about GoDaddy. What do our listeners already know about the company, and maybe something they don't know?
Most people know GoDaddy as one of the largest domain providers in the world. We have over 19 million customers that we help get online and get started in creating their businesses. But what a lot of people don't know is that we've come much, much further to helping people actually take their businesses and engage with customers and get their business and presence online across a full range of website and social media, email marketing, and a whole range of activities that help them get their businesses going.
Right. E-commerce, the ability to sell stuff. Yeah. So that leads us nicely into this suite of tools, GoDaddy's Websites Plus Marketing. So obviously that encompasses creating the site, but as well as supporting it going forward. So for those listening who do run a business, and I know we do have many SMBs or small and medium-sized businesses tuning in, tell us about this product or this collection of tools.
So we know that when people start with a website, what the problem they're really trying to go after is how they can attract and engage their customers. And so we decided to design a product that would really look at that problem holistically. Instead of just looking at the output at the website, we looked at the impact that you're trying to have with that website, how you really show up online in all the places that matter. So how you show up in social media, how you show up on the web, how you get found. And then how you take those people that find you and actually drive engagement and drive business with them. Mm-hmm. And that's how we came up with Websites Plus Marketing. And it brings together all those different pieces you need in one experience. It's one of the easiest ways to make a website, but it also gives you guidance in how to go from just that basic website to get your information in all of those places that actually help you drive results.
Okay, so with the first part in mind, creating the site, it's really easy now. I mean, you don't have to have any coding knowledge or anything, any graphic design experience. You've got these tools that let you create a site and even see what it looks like on, say, a mobile phone, because chances are the majority of your traffic is going to be on a mobile device, like a smartphone or a tablet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. People are really shocked at how easy it is to use. We've had everything from, novice users who really aren't comfortable with computers in general to like kids, helping out a parent with a project or working on a school project, try it out. And people are shocked that really within a matter of minutes, people can get something up and running and working. Most of our customers actually are able to get a site online in under an hour.
Okay. And then how is it that easy? Is it just like templates that you click through? Is it like photos that you've got access to from Getty and other places? And is it like drag and drop? Or maybe you can walk us through, since it's radio, just like how you create a site from scratch. You choose a theme first?
Yeah. So there's two ways to start. One is that you can pick a template. So start from something that looks like something that you'd want, or you can just dive in. And if you just dive in, what you tell us is what kind of business you are and what the name of your business is. And we actually dynamically build an appropriate template for that business using the both the appropriate images and the appropriate content for that type of business. And so whether you start with a template or whether you just jump in and get started, we are creating that basic starter site. And then as you manipulate it, we let you visually choose what actually makes sense to you. So rather than dragging and dropping and trying to arrange things on a page, you're looking at a section of content and saying, is that the section, is that the type of information that's appropriate for my business? Is that what I want to talk about on my website? If you don't want it, you can take it off. If you want to add another chunk of content, you can go and select one of those. And then for that chunk of content, if you want to change how it looks, you can actually choose from a visual gallery that just shows you those different looks and pick the one that feels like you.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you can import your own photos and all that stuff that you would expect.
Absolutely.
And I can tell you anecdotally, I mentioned off the top as an example, my own website, marksaltzman.com, which I did create using GoDaddy, that I recently added a new page to my site because I held a contest on this radio show and I had to have a page with all the terms and conditions. It took me seriously like 10 minutes to create the new page, add the text that I wanted, upload a couple of photos, and then click publish. And then it was live immediately. I mean, it's so intuitive, and you don't have to rely on a company to go back to and say, okay, I've got these modifications I need you to do. You can just go in, even on a mobile phone, and do it all yourself. Super easy.
I'm glad you had that experience. That's really our focus. Our focus is on helping people get results. And in order to do that, you can't get stuck on things. It's got to be really easy to do the things that are going to matter most in your business.
A thank you to the title sponsor of this program, ASUS. ASUS creates technology for today and tomorrow's smart life, including its line of award-winning laptops, desktops, monitors, smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and much more. They also own, by the way, the ROG, or Republic of Gamers brand, and all that awesome gaming gear and accessories. For those in search of incredible, visit asus.com/US/radio for more info. That's asus.com/US/radio. Before we take this short break, if you have any suggestions for an upcoming Tech It Out episode, maybe you've got a guest in mind, even yourself, maybe you run a small business, you got a startup, anything like that, you can hit me up on email at tech@marksaltzman.com. 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 We'll be right back with more Tech It Out. Stay with us.
Want to follow Mark? Google him. Mark with a C and Saltzman with a Z. Breaking down geek speak into street speak. This is Tech It Out. Tech It Out with technology columnist, author, and TV personality Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out. Toyota made quite the splash last week with the official unveiling of the 2021 Marai, the first sporty hydrogen car, fusing style and substance, if you will. But how well do you know hydrogen fuel cell technology? Well, we're in for a treat as we're joined by Jackie Birdsall, senior engineer at Toyota North America, whom Automotive News called a rising star a couple of years back in a profile on Jackie's career. Welcome to the show, Jackie, and happy Thanksgiving long weekend to you.
Oh, so much for having me, and happy Thanksgiving to you as well.
And congrats on being called a rising star in this space. You didn't think I'd do my homework. Well, congratulations on your success to date.
Thank you so much. It was a team effort.
You're modest. Let's first bring everyone up to speed. What is a fuel cell powered vehicle exactly, and how does it work?
So a fuel cell vehicle is an all-electric vehicle, but instead of plugging it in and recharging it, we refill it with hydrogen. So for this next generation, the 2021 Toyota Mirai, it takes around 5 minutes to refill it, and we're targeting about a 400-mile range.
All right, so this is an EV. It's an electric vehicle, so it does not take gas, but it does not need to be plugged into the wall overnight. Instead, it uses hydrogen. So these are stations that you would drive your vehicle to. I don't think you do this at home. And what is the technology exactly? And I understand the emissions are only like water out of the tailpipe. Is that right?
That's exactly right. So currently our dispensers, hydrogen dispensers, are co-located at retail gasoline stations. So you may have seen a hydrogen dispenser and not have even realized that it was there. So they're typically just, there'll be 6 or 8 gasoline dispensers and then 1 or 2 hydrogen dispensers at a given station. And so you go up and you refill it. And then what happens as you're driving is the hydrogen comes in from the hydrogen tanks and the oxygen comes in from the air, from the intake system. And the two combine to create water, which, as you mentioned, goes out the tailpipe. And a byproduct of that is the electricity that powers the vehicle.
Wow. It sounds so futuristic. No wonder the word Marai in Japanese means future, right?
That's right.
So I guess it combats a couple of the issues with electric cars is range. And with 400 miles, it's certainly on the top end of other EVs. And then it also doesn't take a long time to fill up or charge up in this case. So you said about 5 minutes. Is that right?
That's correct. So it does, it is part of Toyota's portfolio strategy to electrify our overall fleet. And the Mirai fits in this perfect space to provide a zero-emission vehicle that, to your point, meets the customer needs of a quick refueling time and a longer driving range.
Another advantage to an EV is lower costs. You don't have to pay for gasoline. How expensive is it to fill up a hydrogen vehicle like the Marai?
So we've not made announcements about the 2021 Toyota Mirai, but for the previous generation Mirai, 3 years of fuel or up to $15,000 of fuel is included in the lease or the purchase of the vehicle.
Oh, cool. And why is Toyota so invested into this space? Is it the eco side of it, that it's better for the planet? Why are they investing so much time and money and effort into hydrogen fuel cell vehicles?
I get asked that question a lot. So it's actually part of our 2050 challenge. So we call it the Environmental Challenge 2050, where among many other challenges, such as to reduce water and increase recyclability, one of our main goals is to reduce the CO2 emissions from our vehicle fleet by 90% by 2050 from our 2010 levels. So basically, it's all part of our environmental challenge. Yeah,
it's very ambitious and no doubt a challenge for you as an engineer, but Toyota is ahead of the pack when it comes to all these alternative fuel vehicles. Jackie Birdsall's joining us. She's the senior engineer at Toyota North America. Let's talk now a little bit more about the 2021 Mirai. There's lots of buzz about it online and throughout the LA Auto Show as well. So this is available, I believe, in December of 2020 in order to purchase. But tell us about the vehicle itself. It's very sporty, as I mentioned off the top. Bit of a departure from the first Marai, I'd argue.
It definitely is quite a departure from the original Mirai. And one of the reasons for that was to really gain mass appeal. So we wanted to introduce a vehicle that people would see and drive and want to purchase or lease. It just also happens to be a hydrogen fuel cell electric vehicle. So to start, we started with a premium rear-wheel drive platform, and which allowed us to create a vehicle that, first of all, is visually quite appealing, but is also lower, longer, wider, and more aerodynamic than her predecessor. We've also made some improvements to the interior, including a 12.3-inch multimedia touchscreen and a 14-speaker JBL system, and a 5th seat in the rear, which is something we heard from our previous Mirai owners, who we call our trailblazers. That was something that they were very interested in. And because we've now moved to a premium rear-wheel drive platform and it's powered by an electric motor, you really get this superb drivability, especially around corners. So in pretty much every way, this is an advancement from the previous generation Mirai.
So it's more powerful, yet has a better range than its predecessor. Are there any semi-autonomous features with this vehicle?
We have not announced any type of autonomy around this vehicle, but as you know, Toyota's moving a whole fleet towards a standard Toyota Safety Sense, which does include some certain safety attributes. So you can expect those to be carried over into all of our next model lineup.
Again, a company that is also very tech forward, and they've got the e-palette as well for some of the autonomous plans that they've got. So really, really cool stuff. I just thought there might be some semi-autonomous features. I'm sure there will be driving aids that just haven't been announced yet to help the driver out in various conditions. Now, going back to fuel cell tech, if I'm not mistaken, the 2020 Marai is going to be available in only those states that have a hydrogen fuel option at gas pumps. Is that California and Hawaii?
We are also working to expand the hydrogen fueling infrastructure in the Northeast, and several other states have, expressed interest. There's also a hydrogen infrastructure starting to develop in Canada, so we'd like to be able to connect up to them. Japan and Europe are really leading the way in building out hydrogen infrastructure, but we hope that this vehicle is exactly what we need to start to incentivize people to really ask for hydrogen fueling dispensers to be made available.
And I didn't know about all the years that you get free fuel, which is pretty appealing, I'd argue, on top of it. And I guess there's no price announced for the actual vehicle as well.
We have not announced any pricing on the vehicle. As you mentioned, it'll launch late next year, so you can stay tuned for more details around that.
All right. And in the meantime, Jackie, is there a website where our listeners can actually see the car in action and read more about the fuel cell technology?
Yes, all of our information is available at toyota.com/Mirai, MIRAI.
All right. MIRAI, the 2021 Marai from Toyota was just unveiled. We're chatting with Jackie Birdsall, Senior Engineer at Toyota North America. Thank you so much for your time. Wishing you a happy Thanksgiving long weekend and all the best for the holidays.
Thank you so much for having me. It was my pleasure, and happy holidays to you as well.
Man, I can't wait to drive that. All right. When we return on Tech It Out, we're going to learn about a product called Konnected. Stay with us.
Breaking down geek speak into street speak. Tech It Out, hosted by Mark Saltzman.
Welcome back to Tech It Out, powered by ASUS, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Visit asus.com/US/radio for info on all their awesome products. That's asus.com/US/radio. Turn any wired alarm system into a smart alarm system. That's what Konnected has been doing for over 2 years. That's Konnected with a K. Joining us to explain why 30 million homes in the U.S. should have its wired alarm systems upgraded, we've got Nate Clark on the line. He's Konnected's founder and CEO. Welcome to the show, Nate.
Thanks, Mark. Good to be here.
Before we talk about your solutions, tell us a bit about the company, Konnected.
Yeah, sure. So Konnected actually is a company I started a couple of years ago out of just a problem that I was trying to solve for myself. So I was living in a house with an old wired alarm system that didn't work anymore, and I started getting interested in home automation, specifically with SmartThings, which is a smart home platform by Samsung.
Right.
And home automation is a growing industry, and there are lots of wireless sensors that you can buy to integrate with these automation platforms. But my thought was, my house is already wired with these sensors in the doors and windows and a motion sensor in the living room. There's got to be a way that I can connect that to and reuse the equipment that's already in my house. So that was kind of the genesis for the idea, and I built the first kind of prototype version using off-the-shelf hardware that I bought on Amazon, and published that online as an open source project.
So it is a DIY alarm system upgrade, and like, is it easy for a regular person to install? And what benefits does it bring? Maybe you can talk a bit more about the smart home element.
I'll start with that. So what differentiates us from other alarm system products that are out there on the market is that my philosophy is like, smart home technology is growing, and it's a fragmented industry right now, but there are a number of different smart home platforms that can do a lot of things, including home security, but also home automation things in general. And so I wanted a all-in-one system that would provide me the security and peace of mind that nobody's in my house when they're not supposed to be, but also let me do, add value to my home by being able to automate the lights when the door opens, or turn the air conditioning off when the window or door is open for too long, things like that, and being able to reuse all of the wired sensors that are already in my house.
Got it. And that includes Alexa, Apple's HomeKit, OpenHub, and a few other platforms, like you said, Samsung's SmartThings. So is this something, though, that we could, like a regular consumer can do, or do you have to hire a professional to upgrade?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've pretty much proven that most people can do it. I mean, it's a little bit more involved than just plug it in and turn it on, because at the end of the day, you do have to kind of take apart your old wired alarm and figure out which wire goes to which door and which window or which motion sensor, and then connect a few wires. So there's an installation process, and we have YouTube videos and online documentation that will guide you through that.
We're chatting with Nate Clark. He is the founder and CEO of Konnected. That's Connected with a K. They are a company that creates these boards, these upgrade kits that lets you turn your existing wired or legacy alarm system into a smart one, including some home automation and also voice support, right? I mean, if you've got one of those smart speakers, you can also do things now with your alarm through just asking for it.
Right. Yeah, there are a lot of things that you can do once you've integrated the alarm with home automation platforms. For example, like Alexa, you could ask Alexa if your door is open or not, and set routines. There's really unlimited possibilities once you've got all of those sensors in your home connected to a smart home platform, which then also connects to these voice assistants. There's lots of things that you can do.
Do you still pay your alarm system company, that monthly monitoring fee?
Well, most of our users will replace that, and the value there is that they can self-monitor using their smartphone, and they'll get notifications on their phone if something happens when they're away. It also, with SmartThings and Home Assistant, these platforms also have presence detection built into their platforms. So with presence detection, it can automatically know when you're home and when you're away, and the alarm automatically goes into armed mode.
Is that based on like something you have, like a smartphone?
Yeah, and typically it'd be based on the presence of your phone, like when your phone connects to Wi-Fi or within the geofence of your home area.
Before we wrap up and talk price, Nate, Amazon recently announced Ring Retrofit, which can also upgrade a wired security system. What separates Konnected from this other solution?
Well, it's hard to know for sure because Ring has not released too many details at all about the retrofit product. But from what we've understood is that the Ring retrofit works only with door and window sensors, whereas our solution works for all of your wired alarm sensors, including motion sensors, leak detectors, heat detectors, some smoke detectors, and also the siren and or strobe that typically come with a wired alarm. And Ring solution will most likely, I assume, also be tied to their ecosystem and their app and their subscription service, whereas ours is open and flexible, and we integrate with a number of different smart home platforms that don't require subscriptions.
And I understand cost is another big differentiator. Why don't we finish up on that?
Right. So our product starts at about $89 for our 6-zone kit, and depending on the size of your home and the number of sensors that you have, it could go up to $200 or so.
Got it. All right. So Konnected.io to learn more. That's connected with a K.io. And Nate Clark has been our guest for the last few minutes. Thank you very much for your time. Good luck with this product. I hope it continues to do well for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll be right back with more Tech It Out.
Follow Mark Saltzman on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Listen to Tech It Out whenever you want.
Shoppers, why spend more money than you need to? Well, overspending is a thing of the past with apps like Flipp, one of my all-time favorite apps, in fact. It takes all those circulars, those flyers, those weekly store ads that we get in the mail, and puts it all into one place for you on your phone or tablet or on a web browser, but it shows you the best deals near you. And that's just the beginning. Joining us to chat is Christina McNally, Flipp's Chief Deals Officer, or CDO for short. Hi, Christina. Thanks for your time.
Hi, Mark. Thanks for chatting with us.
I know this is a busy time of the year for you, especially. Now, I use Flipp all year round. Tell us what Flipp is all about.
Absolutely. So Flipp is a must-have savings tool for shoppers. By simply downloading the free app and inputting your zip code, you're connected with thousands of deals, sales, and flyers from all of your favorite local and national retailers.
Okay, awesome. So I know depending on where you live, it's called weekly ads or circulars or flyers, as you called it, which is the word that I grew up using. And these are the paper ads that we get in the mail every week for all your local stores, be it for supermarkets and other grocery stores, as well as like department stores and consumer electronics, big box retailers. What Flipp does is that you aggregate all of those amazing ads, but you don't just stop there. You also show the best deals near you and even coupons that you can use for even a further deal, right?
We do. So for our U.S. shoppers, we have coupons on the app for a lot of your local stores that provide loyalty programs. So if you're thinking your CVS's or your Publix, any store that has a loyalty program, we try to bring in as many of those coupons as possible.
And in Canada, you also support loyalty cards. So with me, my Flipp app has all of my loyalty cards there, all the plastic cards that are in a drawer somewhere at home.
Absolutely. So for our Canadian shoppers, a lot of us have loyalty cards to our favorite stores instead of having to carry that plastic around with us everywhere we go or remembering to have it with us when we're in the store. You can put those loyalty cards right into your Flipp app so that you can pull them up really easily.
All right. So walk us through the process. You download this free app. It's Flipp with 2 P's, F-L-I-P-P. You can download it from the App Store for iPhone and iPad or the Google Play Store for Android devices. And then you type in your zip code or your postal code and it'll show you your local deals. So we're talking retail deals that are near you, right?
So absolutely. It brings in all of your favorite local and national stores around you. A lot of us get those flyers or circulars delivered to our home, but not all of us do. And it's often difficult to flip through and try to figure out, am I getting the best deal for something? Could I be getting a better deal somewhere else? And Flipp does all of that legwork for you.
And then when you're scrolling through the app, so you can scroll by store, so you can tap on like your favorite, big box retailers, or you can type in the search window what you're looking for, and it'll pull up all the local deals for you.
Yeah, so there's a fantastic feature within Flipp that allows you to search for anything you want. So whether it's a TV or a grocery item or a store, you simply type in what you're looking for and it'll populate with all of the deals that are around you. And from there, you can filter from price, the store that you're looking to shop at. There's a lot of different options for you.
And let's talk about the shopping list for a moment. So when you're scrolling and browsing through all the different flyers or circulars near you, you can tap and hold to learn more about a product that you're interested in, or you can quickly tap and it gets virtually clipped into your shopping list. But my favorite feature of the shopping list is that you can type in a keyword, like you said, televisions, for example, like you said earlier, and it'll actually show you all your local places that have the best deals on TVs. That's a pretty cool feature, and that's called a smart shopping list.
Absolutely. So the smart shopping list takes your shopping planning to a whole nother level. You don't have to go looking for those deals. By just typing in what you're looking for, it finds it for you.
Okay, very cool. Love it. What are some things about Flipp that people might not know? Because I know you have millions and millions of users, but maybe they're not using all of the features that Flipp offers.
I think you've highlighted a lot of really great features already, but we also have really fantastic features that come out during shopping seasons. So for Black Friday, for example, you'll be able to find a Black Friday carousel on the main page of the app, as well as a Black Friday tab. This is going to be pulling in all of those great deals and flyers for Black Friday, so you don't have to go looking for them yourself. You can find those dedicated tabs that pull in all of those deals for you.
All right, Christina, as we wrap up, the call to action, it's simply flipp.com, right? Flipp.com, or to download the app from your favorite app store. Is that right?
Absolutely. Free download from the Apple App Store or from Google Play.
And again, it works just as well in the US as it does in Canada and vice versa. So definitely check it out. Christina McNally, thank you so much for your time and happy holidays to you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and while retail is still the focus of Flipp, it'll still show you some great deals on Cyber Monday coming up. Many brick and mortar stores will have specials to check out in person. As we wrap up this special Thanksgiving edition of Tech It Out, I want to give thanks to Radio America for producing and distributing this show. They're a great group there, mostly in DC. Can't wait to visit them again. And I do want to thank my sponsors as well, whom I'll tell you about more in a moment, like Asus. And most importantly, I want to sincerely thank you, the listener. I'm very thankful of your support. Tech It Out is brought to you by Asus, creating technology for today and tomorrow's smart life. Asus, for those in search of incredible. Visit asus.com/US/radio for more info on their awesome products. Have a great rest of your long weekend, everyone. All the best. Bye-bye for now.